So in today's video, we're gonna be talking about my experience working at Urban Outfitters, the pros and the cons of working there. And you know what, I'm ready to just get right into the video. But hold on! Before we start, if you do not know who I am, okay, let me show you a little bit about myself. My name is Shawnee. Period. Shawnee, the tsunami. What's up, YouTube? This is Shawnee, the tsunami, coming at you with another video. So yes, I worked at Urban Outfitters. I'm still debating if I want to go back for the summer to work there again because, you know, I kind of want to do something different. But I'm gonna tell you this though, Urban Outfitters is actually one of the best and fun jobs that I ever worked at, okay? Honestly, that's not saying much considering the fact that I only worked at McDonald's, the State Fair, which is also horrible, and I had this little job on the side with my mom, okay? But, you know, just saying that, you know, is not saying much, you know, and obviously that's a better job than those two, but it honestly was a fun place to work. The one thing I will say about it though is that it's like a temporary job. I wouldn't suggest working there for like I don't know, it's just not a job that you would work at for a long time, especially if you're a sales associate. I mean, if you're a manager, I guess I can see it and all that, but you know, just working there, it's just not a place you want to work there for a long time, you know what I'm saying? So that being said, I'm going to explain why I think that, and we're gonna get into the pros and cons of working at Urban Outfitters. All right, so let's start with the pros. The biggest pro about working there is the discount. Now the discounts are delicious, let me tell you that. So you get 40% off basically everything, every clothing item. I think accessories and everything else is 25%, but for the most part it's 40% on everything. Now let me tell you this, all right, you get 360% every month. That is beautiful. Now the only thing is you can only use those 60s on Urban Outfitter brands. So if it's something like BDG, I don't know, like I guess like, I don't know, there's like brands that are under Urban Outfitters and things like that. You can only use it on those, but I mean, a lot of the things are good at Urban Outfitters, so it wouldn't be really a problem. But say brands like Stussy, Champion, and things like that, I don't think you can use a 60 on those. You also cannot use 60s online, but the thing is, you don't really use your 60s like that. Even though that's a beautiful freaking percentage, you know, you don't really use it unless you have a shopping problem. But I didn't really use my 60 like that. I probably used one a month. Cause I mean, you're not really buying stuff like every day. I mean, you really start getting tired of seeing those clothes anyway. But 360s is actually really generous if you really think about it. It might seem like a little bit, but it's really generous. All right, the second pro is that the employees and the managers are actually very fun. They're very chill. I actually made a lot of friends working there. Actually friends that I would go out with outside of the job. So that is one pro that I would say about Urban Outfitters. They're usually young people that are around your age, you know, a lot of them are going to college. You know, you can relate to a lot of them, you know, a lot of them are into clothes like you. It's just fun, you know, it's just a cool experience, honestly. I think I appreciated that so much because like I said, I worked at McDonald's, and let me tell you, no. Alright, you don't want to experience the people at McDonald's. That was one of the worst parts about working at McDonald's, was the employees, your coworkers, honestly. But yeah, that's why I appreciate the chill people at Urban Outfitters. And the last pro that I'm gonna get into about working at Urban Outfitters is how easy the job is. It's a really easy job. You're just working with clothes, you know, you're just folding clothes, you know, you're just hanging out clothes, you know, you're just working at the fitting room, you know, it's really chill. I mean, there's some things that, you know, you have to do a little bit more work, but it's not like freaking hard labor. It's easy. Like I'm saying, it's easy. And there is some problems about it being that easy that I'm gonna get into for the cons portion, but you know, for the most part, I mean, you're really gonna appreciate that. All right, so we're gonna get into the cons. Now, even though I said this is one of the best jobs that I worked at, there are a lot more cons than there are pros. And I'm gonna get into the cons real quick. That didn't mean that this job was horrible, but I mean, there is a lot of cons that come with it. First off, the pay. The pay was horrible, period. I don't really care, I'm gonna just say it. I got $10.25 an hour, and that's what you start off with. I don't know, it might be different for every location, every state, I don't know. But the pay, are you kidding me? Like I said, this is an easy job. So I mean, I guess you kind of get what you deserve, but at the same time, like, that's still just really bogus. And that's also a reason why this is not a job that you would want to stay at for a very long time, because you would not go anywhere financially, okay? You're not, like, I mean, unless you got a couple of other jobs along with this job, but just having this job alone, unless you're a manager, like I said, you're cooked. Another quick con, real quick, is that the time and the schedule that they put you on is just it's just arbitrary. They don't, you know, it's not a consistent schedule. They put you all over the place. And I know a lot of jobs are like that. I think McDonald's was like that a lot. So I know a lot of jobs are like that, but there are some jobs where you tell them that, you know, you have this availability and they give you, you know, a consistent schedule every time. And there's a lot of people at the job that, you know, are strict about it. You know, a lot of the employees are like, I can't work this time. So, you know, if you tell them that and you're just very, you know, serious about that thing, and you have to, like if you're at school or something like that and you can't work at this time, I mean, they will give you a consistent schedule. But for me, I worked on my breaks, so I wasn't working while at school. I was only working during the summer and the winter. So they just throw you all over the place. If you're working there full time, you're all over the freaking place, schedule wise. On Monday, you can be working from 3 to 11, so basically closing. And then, you know, the next day you could be working freaking in the morning, 6 a.m. to freaking 4 p.m. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm pretty sure you get what I'm saying. So yeah, the schedules are just too much. It's just all over the place, and it really takes up a lot of your time. So another con is that it's either really boring when you're working or very overwhelming, okay? There's no in between. So when it's boring, you're just sitting there, there's nothing to do, the hours go by long, you're folding the same freaking clothes every freaking minute, you're back in the fitting rooms just sitting at the table with nothing to do. That's the very boring days, and it can be a very long day. But if it's a busy day, child, oh. And again, this depends on your location. I worked at the Mall of America, so it was just, when it gets busy, it's so irritating. The customers are irritating, everything is irritating, the clothes are messy, the store is messy. You can't go nowhere when you're trying to fix something. It's too much. So that's something that's so irritating about it. You know, there's not a time where it's like the right tempo, the right pace, where you can just, you know, be kind of busy and like the time goes by fast, but it's not too overwhelming. You know, it's just, I don't know. There's no in between, okay? All right, I'm gonna get into the last con, and this con is pretty much the same thing for all retail jobs, any job basically. I mean, the customers are horrible, but these are different kind of customers. This is a different type of horrible, all right? The customers at Urban Outfitters are literally teenage girls that are using their parents' money. There's nothing wrong with that, all right? Let me say that off the rip, all right? I'm gonna just say that. But a lot of them are teenagers, so they haven't worked a retail job yet. So they don't know how to behave in a freaking retail store. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of them will leave the clothes in the fitting room unfolded. They'll just throw the clothes around. You know, they would just mess up the t-shirts and not fix them. They're just, you know, they're kind of disrespectful, honestly. And I'm not saying that's every teenage girl, because some teenage girls know that. And I'm not just saying the customers were all teenage girls, because there was other demographics. But from what I witnessed, it was a whole lot of. All right, they were just doing too much, and those teenagers were getting on my nerves. But I mean, a lot of the customers were cool, like I said, but when they were disrespectful, they were disrespectful. All right, period. All right, so that was my last con. Overall, like I said, this is one of the best jobs that I worked at, even though it had all those cons. But I guess if any job that you work at, you can find pros and cons. Like I said, because it has that much cons, I would avoid working there for a long time because it's a good temporary job. That's what made it so fun, because I worked there for 8 months and it was still cool. But if you work there for 2 years, you probably, those cons will stack up. Period. But anyways, that will be the end of the video. Tell me down in the comments below if you want me to talk about more Urban Outfitters things, or more experience there, you know, how to apply, what you gotta do, what's the application process, all that. If you wanna, you know, if you want me to talk about that more, then say that in the comments below. And if you wanna see some more videos like this, give this video a thumbs up. And if you wanna see some more videos of me, then subscribe it. Thank you for watching.